Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to a deep dive into what it truly means to uh, dare to win.
Mm.
Today, we're pulling insights from a fascinating stack of sources, specifically excerpts from a book that gathers lessons from, I think, 57 highly successful people, all sorts of fields.
Yeah, and it's
Now,
important to say up front, if you're expecting like simple stories of effortless success, well, these sources really challenge that idea.
right.
What they reveal is that winning, it often comes hand in hand with, significant failure, sometimes harsh criticism, and just the sheer courage to keep going when things get tough.
It's more about how you navigate those challenges, isn't it? Not trying to dodge them completely.
Exactly. It's about how you handle them, not avoid them, because you probably can't avoid them anyway.
So our mission today is to really dive into these different stories, pull out the most powerful sort of nuggets of wisdom on overcoming adversity, pursuing goals,
Yeah.
and hopefully give you some actionable insights, things you can maybe apply in your own life, whatever your arena might be.
And there's a great quote right at the start from J.K. Rowling that kind of sets the stage perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, "It is impossible to live without failing at something unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default."
That hits hard. It immediately frames failure differently, doesn't it?
Totally. Not as this like terrifying endpoint, but maybe a necessary part of actually living fully, of striving for something.
Absolutely. So let's jump right in with that initial spark, ambition. Where does it start? And maybe more importantly, what happens when that first big step just doesn't work out?
Well, the sources show that ambition is, powerful stuff,
Hmm.
but it often meets resistance almost immediately.
Hmm.
Take Elvis Presley, for instance.
Okay.
Young guy, full of energy, gets a shot at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville. I mean, this was the absolute center of the country music world then. A huge deal.
But the story is it didn't land well, right? His style wasn't quite what they expected.
Not at all. The audience, the management. They were looking for something more traditional. His whole vibe just didn't fit.
So what happened?
He was pretty much told, go back to your day job, which was driving a truck. Forget music.
Ouch. That's gotta sting.
For sure. But Elvis had this great quote capturing his drive. He said, "Ambition is a dream with a V8 engine."
Huh. I like that. And he just kept driving that truck,
Hmm.
metaphorically speaking.
Exactly. He didn't let that one big public failure at the Opry make him, pull over for good. He found a different route, kept pushing.
And became, well, Elvis Presley, arguably the biggest star of the century.
So the insight there is ambition isn't just the dream, it's the fuel. It's that V8 engine that keeps you going despite those first bumps.
It's not about getting it perfect the first time.
No, it's about having the capacity to turn those early setbacks into actual momentum. Keep moving.
Which kind of leads us to the next logical question. Can those really tough experiences, those painful moments, can they actually make you stronger? Can you find power in the adversity?
Yeah, this theme comes up again and again in these stories. Think about Walt Disney.
Okay, Disney.
So he's 26. He's got Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, a huge hit with Universal Studios. He's feeling pretty good.
Right, he heads to New York thinking he's going to get a raise, some recognition.
And instead, he gets hit with what the source calls a career hand grenade. Just devastating.
What was it?
Universal basically says, actually, we own Oswald. And by the way, we've hired away most of your key animators.
No way.
Yeah. So he had this brutal choice. Stay and work for them, lose control, or walk away with pretty much nothing. Lose his character, his team, start over.
Wow. That must have felt like the floor just vanished.
Absolutely. A real moment of desperation. A serious kick in the teeth, as the source puts it.
But he didn't give in.
No. And
Right.
this is the key part. That profound adversity, that betrayal, it fueled something new. On the train ride home, apparently, he starts sketching a new character,
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse. That forced pivot, born from losing almost everything, led directly to his most iconic creation and ultimately a much bigger, independent empire.
So he learned something powerful there.
Right. The source paraphrases him saying basically, when you face adversity, don't lose heart. Try to see the setback as like a boon that will actually strengthen you in the long run.
So it wasn't just about getting through it. It was about transforming that negative energy into something positive, something creative.
Exactly. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How often do those moments of intense pressure or loss actually reveal a different path? Maybe a better one we wouldn't have seen otherwise.
Yeah, it suggests resilience isn't just bouncing back to where you were before.
It's maybe using the force of that blow to
Yeah.
build something entirely new, maybe even stronger.
That's a powerful way to think about it. But okay, let's talk about something maybe more common, something a lot of us face. Just plain old rejection.
Mm-hmm.
Criticism. Being told no, or having your work judged, or even like your appearance.
Oh, yeah. This is almost universal for the people in these stories. Agatha Christie, right? One of the best-selling authors ever.
Yep.
She got rejection slips for years before her first book was finally picked up. Imagine getting no thank you again and again.
And still finding the will to send it out one more time. It really speaks to that Thomas Edison quote, doesn't it?
Which one's that?
Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time.
Absolutely. Rejection feels like an invitation to quit, but maybe it's just an invitation to try again or try differently.
And criticism can cut deep, especially when it's personal. The book talks about Beyoncé.
Right, dealing with those awful comments about her appearance. Specifically, people criticizing her for having elephant ankles.
Which is just nasty and totally unnecessary.
Completely. But instead of letting it crush her, she did something amazing. She took that specific criticism
And put it in a song.
Yeah. She wove the idea into Bootylicious, turning this cruel jab into a global anthem about body positivity and self-acceptance.
That's incredible. Taking the negativity and literally transforming it.
And her quote about it is so insightful. She said something like, "When I'm not feeling my best, I ask myself, what are you going to do about it? I use the negativity to fuel the transformation into a better me."
Wow. That's actively harnessing it, not just ignoring it. What about Harrison Ford? Didn't he get some harsh feedback early on?
Oh yeah, his first speaking role in a movie. A producer apparently told him flat out he didn't have it, said he'd never make it in the business.
And yet, Indiana Jones, Han Solo, a massive decades-long career.
Exactly. And the source makes a good point. A lot of actors do fold under that kind of constant rejection. It takes something special to withstand it.
So what's the difference? How do you handle it?
Well, it seems to come back to separating the rejection itself from your sense of worth. Like Elton John's experience auditioning for the band King Crimson.
They turned him down.
Yeah. Not because he was a bad singer, obviously, but because his style just didn't fit their specific progressive rock sound.
Ah, so it wasn't, "You're no good." It was, "You're not right for us."
Precisely. As he put it, "I'm not everyone's cup of tea."
Yeah.
Which is fine. But he also acknowledged sometimes criticism can be hurtful. It still stings, even if you understand it logically.
Okay, so the big takeaway here seems to be rejection, criticism, it's going to happen. It's probably going to hurt.
Right.
But the power lies in, first, trying not to internalize it as a judgment of your fundamental value. And second, maybe finding a way to, I don't know, reframe it or even use it like Beyoncé did. Don't let it set your limits.
And doing that requires something crucial, a really stubborn belief. Belief in your idea or just in yourself, even when everyone else is saying no.
Like Sir James Dyson, the vacuum cleaner guy.
Oh, classic example. 5 years, thousands of prototypes.
Isn't it like over 5,000?
5,127 prototypes, the source says specifically. Just an incredible number.
And he faced constant rejection, right? Doors slammed in his face.
Constantly. He even had a U.S. collaboration attempt that just completely blew up. At one point, he remortgaged his own house to keep funding it.
That's putting everything on the line. What finally worked?
It was almost random, in a way. After all the rejections from retailers, he happened to talk to a politician who then mentioned the vacuum to his wife, and she happened to be on the board of a major store. That connection finally got him a meeting.
So persistence finally met a little bit of luck.
Exactly, fueled by that unwavering belief. His quote nails it. You need a stubborn belief in an idea in order to see it realized.
And sometimes that dismissal comes not just from strangers, but from people you'd think would get it, like with Faulty Towers.
Oh, the story about the BBC memo, it's amazing.
Yeah, a script editor called the pilot script dire and predicted it would be a total disaster.
Can you imagine? One of the most beloved sitcoms ever. Thankfully, the head of comedy at the time, someone higher up, saw the potential and gave it the green light.
It really shows that your vision isn't going to click with everyone. You have to trust your own gut sometimes. Reminds me of that Eleanor Roosevelt quote.
No one can make you feel inferior without your consent.
Exactly. You have to believe in it enough yourself that you don't give that consent when someone dismisses it.
And resilience isn't just bouncing back from one bad review. It's about enduring that long grind when things aren't working. Look at George Lucas trying to get Star Wars made.
Right. Sci-fi was considered totally dead back then. No studio wanted it.
He faced huge skepticism. Every major studio turned him down initially. But his stubborn belief in that specific story, that galaxy far, far away,
against all the prevailing wisdom of the industry.
That's why we have Star Wars. It shows the power of believing not just in yourself, but really believing in the potential of your idea, even when nobody else gets it yet.
Okay, so we've got ambition, facing setbacks, handling rejections, stubborn belief. What about when you need to actually change course? Adapt your plan. Maybe even redefine what's possible for you.
Yeah, this is where daring to win really means daring to evolve, daring to adapt. Stephen Hawking is an incredible example. Diagnosed with ALS at just 21, given only a few years to live. He defied that prognosis by decades and continued his groundbreaking work on the universe.
And his quote, intelligence is the ability to adapt to change, feels so profound coming from him.
It really does. It elevates adaptation beyond just, changing jobs. It's about adapting to fundamental shifts in your life circumstances.
And sometimes the adaptation is about finding a new dream after the first one ends.
Absolutely. Like Gregory Porter. His dream was American football. He was good, scholarship level.
But then an injury.
Yeah, a shoulder injury ended that dream completely. So he ended up working a pretty normal job in town planning. Stable, respectable.
But something was missing.
It seems so. The turning point came when his mother was dying. Her last words to him were simple. Don't forget music.
Wow, powerful.
And he listened. He went back to music, seriously pursued it, and found massive success, Grammy Awards, in his 40s.
It's such a great reminder that it's really never too late to pivot. And maybe all that life experience actually makes you better at what you finally land on.
Exactly. He said something like, "You must experience life before you sing it. Your authenticity comes from that journey."
Jamie Vardy's story is kind of similar in terms of an unconventional path, right?
Totally. Released by a pro club, Sheffield Wednesday, at 16 because he was too small.
So he ends up working in a factory?
Yep, making medical splints, had some trouble with the law, played non-league football on the side for like 30 pounds a week.
Just seems miles away from professional football.
Miles. But he just kept climbing, league by league, until suddenly he's a Premier League champion with Leicester City. An absolute fairy tale.
Incredible.
And his quote, "I'm still pinching myself." You can feel how unlikely it all was, even to him. It shows that adapting, taking detours, working your way up from the bottom, it's not failure. It might just be the way you find the right place for your unique talents.
It's okay to be at the bottom as long as it's the right ladder for you.
That's a great way to put it. Finding where you fit, or sometimes like Charlie Chaplin, pushing the boundaries of where you are. Well, in the silent film era, he used improvisation, but he also focused on the lives of ordinary people, their struggles. He found the comedy and tragedy in the mundane.
Turning everyday life into box office gold, as the source says.
Exactly. His famous line, "Life is a tragedy when seen in close-up, but a comedy in long shot." He evolved cinema by finding the universal in the specific, not just by doing something completely different.
And it's also about not letting early labels define you, right? Like Winston Churchill being called a troublemaker at school.
Yeah, imagine if he'd let that label stick and define his potential. He certainly wouldn't have become the leader he was.
So these examples really hammer home that your path isn't set in stone. Adaptation is strength.
Definitely. And sometimes success doesn't come from following a plan at all. Sometimes it's, well, an accident.
A happy accident, like the Post-it note story.
A classic example. Spencer Silver at 3M trying to make a super strong glue for airplanes.
And he ends up with the opposite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A really weak adhesive that you could peel off easily. A total failure based on his goal.
So what did he do with it?
He didn't give up on it. He spent years giving talks inside 3M, trying to find some use for this weird, weak glue. They apparently called him Mr. Persistent.
Huh, okay.
Then another guy at 3M, Art Fry, sang in his church choir. And he kept getting annoyed because the little paper bookmarks he used in his hymn book kept falling out.
I see where this is going. He remembered the weak glue.
He remembered Silver's talks about this weird glue that stuck, but didn't damage paper when you peeled it off. He realized that failure was the perfect solution to his problem.
And boom, the Post-it note is born.
From a failed experiment and someone else's unrelated frustration, it just shows you can't always predict where an idea will lead. Sometimes you have to be open to unexpected applications.
Don't dismiss something just because it wasn't the target. Or think about Fred Astaire.
Right. Not your typical handsome leading man.
Yeah.
Right. Not a powerhouse singer. Was already balding.
And that initial screen test feedback was just brutal.
Can't act, can't sing, balding, can dance a little. Imagine reading that.
If you just looked at the checklist, he shouldn't have made it.
But then David O. Selznick, the producer, saw something else. He noted Astaire's tremendous charm.
And obviously the dancing wasn't just a little. He was phenomenal, honed from years in vaudeville.
Exactly. His success came from that unique combination, the charm, the incredible skill, things that weren't on the standard list. He basically redefined what a leading man could be.
Like the ugly duckling becoming a swan, kind of?
Yeah, in a way. Or Emily Blunt's story, overcoming a really bad stammer as a child.
How did she do that?
A teacher suggested she try acting, specifically using different accents, and it worked. She
Why?
said something like, "I distanced myself from me through this character, and it was so freeing that my stuttering stopped." It was like bypassing the block by becoming someone else temporarily.
And the very thing that helped her overcome the perceived weakness acting became her hugely successful career.
Exactly. So these stories really show that winning can mean embracing what makes you different, finding uses for unexpected results, or even turning things you see as weaknesses into strengths.
Seeing potential where others might just see flaws or failures.
Right. Even within yourself or your own seemingly failed projects.
Okay, we've talked a lot about external challenges, unconventional paths, but the sources also really dig into the internal side of winning, which feels crucial.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe the most crucial part, and often the one we don't talk about enough. Kelly Holmes, the British runner.
Double Olympic gold in Athens, 2004. Incredible achievement after years of injuries.
The absolute pinnacle of external success. But later, she revealed that the year before those Olympics, she was actually self-harming.
Really, why?
The immense pressure, the fear of failure after all the setbacks, it shows how much internal struggle can hide behind that shiny gold medal.
That's incredibly powerful and a really important reminder about mental health in high-pressure situations.
Totally. She said, "I could have given up. All the ups and downs made me stronger." But that strength clearly came from battling internal demons, not just physical hurdles.
And Oprah Winfrey, her whole story is a testament to internal resilience, isn't it? Overcoming unbelievable hardship early in life.
Yeah, poverty, abuse, losing a child. Yet she refused to be defined by that trauma.
Her quotes always emphasize that internal choice.
Right. Turn your wounds into wisdom. Or, it's not where you come from that matters, it's where you want to go. It's about deciding not to be a victim of your circumstances.
But then you get these other perspectives that challenge the whole idea of winning as we usually think of it. Like Jack Ma.
The Alibaba founder,
Yeah.
billionaire, huge global success story. After facing tons of rejection himself, Harvard 10 times, couldn't get a job at KFC.
Right, the story where 24 people applied for KFC and he was the only one rejected.
Yeah. So he achieved absolutely staggering external success.
What?
But the sources share quotes from him later in life where he kind of regrets it. He talks about being too busy, having no life.
Didn't he call creating Alibaba his biggest mistake?
He did. And said if he had another life, he'd never build a business like that again because he just wants to enjoy his life.
Wow, that's a stunning thing to hear from someone who reached that level of conventional success.
It really forces you to ask, doesn't it? What was the real cost of that win for him? What does winning even mean if you're not happy or healthy?
It brings it back to that internal definition. Success isn't just the money or the status.
Exactly. It's also maybe primarily about internal well-being. Are you finding balance? Are you overcoming your own internal struggles? Are you, happy, healthy, loved? Jack Ma's perspective really makes you question the standard scorecard.
So beyond the mindset, what about the practical things? The sources must touch on discipline, support systems.
Oh yeah, definitely. Roald Dahl, the writer,
Yeah.
for all his wild imagination, he had a super strict writing routine.
His little shed in the garden.
Yep. Same hours every day. He wasn't just waiting for inspiration to strike. He relied on discipline. His advice was basically, you have to keep your bottom on the chair and stick it out.
Otherwise, if you start getting to the habit of walking away when you're stuck, you'll never get it done.
Right. Discipline is what turns the idea into reality. You got to do the work.
And what about support?
Tom Daley, the diver, dedicating his Olympic gold to his dad, Rob, who had passed away but had always been his biggest supporter. That really highlights how crucial that belief from others can be.
Having someone in your corner.
Yeah, that encouragement from family or chosen family, your support network. That can be the thing that keeps you going when your own belief starts to wobble or when the world keeps saying no. It's vital.
And finally, it seems like a lot of these stories implicitly say that daring to win, it doesn't really have an age limit.
Absolutely not. Look at Iris Apfel. Became a global style icon in her 80s, still working on major projects in her 90s.
Her attitude is fantastic.
Isn't it? If God is good enough to give you those years, flaunt them. And the alternative to old is not very pleasant. She just embodies not letting age be an excuse to stop creating or seeking excitement.
Keep striving, keep being curious.
Right. And David Bowie, too. Even when he faced early rejections, his whole philosophy seemed to be about living without limits, always looking ahead.
Tomorrow belongs to those who can hear it coming.
Exactly. Being attuned to future possibilities, not just stuck in your current reality or defined by your age. Keep moving towards what's next.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. Pulling back from this really rich, deep dive, we've seen what ambition needs, that V8 engine, that fuel to keep going.
Adversity isn't just something to survive. It can actually forge new strengths.
Rejection and criticism, they're pretty much guaranteed, but they don't have to be the final word. You can reframe them, maybe even use them.
And that stubborn belief in yourself and your idea is absolutely key to weathering the storms.
We saw that adapting, changing paths, that's not failure. It's often how you find where you truly belong or can excel.
Yeah, and success can pop up in weird ways. Accidents, leveraging things others see as flaws.
And critically, that internal journey, your mental health, your resilience, defining happiness for yourself, that's maybe even more important than the external trophies.
Definitely. Plus the practical stuff. Discipline to get it done, support to keep you going.
And remembering that age is just a number when it comes to striving and creating.
So the core idea, really, that runs through all of this is that daring to win. It's not just about hitting some target out there.
Right.
It's more about cultivating the courage to live fully, to learn from everything. The wins, sure, but maybe especially the setbacks, and ultimately to define what success and a good life mean on your own terms.
Which kind of leaves us, and you the listener, with a final thought to chew on, especially thinking about Jack Ma's regrets or Kelly Holmes's struggles. What does winning actually mean to you?
Yeah, beyond the job title or the bank balance or the applause, what does it really mean?
And maybe, what's one insight from all these stories, one piece of this dive that you might reflect on, or even try to put into practice this week?
Something to think about.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Keep exploring, keep learning,
And keep daring to win, whatever that means for you.